because it'd be weird if I made that and then I had this whole big slide at the end, like I didn't do that, right? So, what you just witnessed were a lot of the outdoor, fun, interactive, the Salvation Army things that we participated in, the team building and things like that. What you didn't see were all these times where there wasn't a camera around, when you were spending hours reading your leadership book and creating a presentation, and when you were spending lots of hours over the last 12 months working on your continuous improvement projects you just presented last month. Lots of time that's not shown, even though we did have tons of fun, tons of work too, right? And so as we come together this morning, we celebrate the hard work that you guys have put in over these last 2 years. As I was thinking about what to say this morning, I'm processing the last 2 years going, wow, this does not seem like it's been 2 years. And you guys have made the absolute best of some of the toughest situations. You know, over the last 2 years, some of the things that you've gone through, we've had at least 4 that I know of, people receive promotions. And so that means new job responsibilities, and in some cases, new cabinets, and just all together, and the workload of the academy on top of that. We've had marriage. Some of us have experienced some deaths. There's been lots of leadership lessons that we've gleaned. I'm just going to touch on a couple of those before we move too much farther. Some of the key leadership lessons and things that I think, if I were to say the principles that I hope you walk away with more than anything else over the last 2 years are these few things, just very quickly. Leadership is about relationship. I don't know if I've said this to you or not. I hope that I have, but I've said it in other places. If you get the people to love you, you can make major mistakes and they'll forgive you. If you don't get the people to love you, every little thing that you do, they will try to crucify you for. I think that is one of the primary leadership lessons when it comes to relationship, is that we have to love in order to get love, and we want to help our teams, those that we interact with, whether it's a supervisor or not, we want them to love us so that there's grace and forgiveness when we mess up, because we will, right? Then help others accomplish their dreams, and they'll help you accomplish yours. It is about relationship. Nobody is successful on their own. Nobody reaches the next milestone in their career. Nobody accomplishes that goal or that dream or that thing on their bucket list without the involvement of others. So relationship is key. The second one is this: personalities. I know that I've probably said this several times. Personalities are crucial in leadership. You have to know the language that your people are speaking, and each personality speaks its own language. So do your best to study that, pay attention, be cognizant of that, and even in those moments as a leader when you're stressed and you're under the gun and you feel the pressure and you just don't want to flex your personality today, that's the time that your team needs it most. So lead with wisdom and with insight in the personality. Then the final thing is authenticity. Whether you are a supervisor or not, or become one or not, in whatever leadership capacity you find yourself, be authentic. Because people connect to authenticity. They connect to you through your authenticity. If at any point they feel like you're just doing the job or playing the role or filling the spot, they won't follow. So they have to trust. They have to see that you're genuine and authentic. So if nothing else that you walk away from during these last 2 years, those are the 3 things I hope you grab a hold of most. Now, having said that, I think Colonel Parker and Asa and Tony, they're going to add some more things to that list. So get your notepads out. You're about to get your final dose, your final injection of leadership phenomenon is not the right word. Phenomenal leadership principles. So without saying much further, I want to give an opportunity and introduce our Chief of Staff. Asa James Swan is going to come and congratulate and welcome Asa Swan.
Well, congratulations. How do you feel? Pretty good? Okay. Was assertiveness part of anything you had? Decisiveness? Everything gets better when a leader gets better. And John Maxwell last year at the Global Leadership Summit talked about how leaders lift, right? Leaders have the power to either bring people up or as you all know, to push them down and destroy. And so I'm proud of you all for taking this time just to get better, to grow who you are, to push yourself. And so my couple thoughts I want to leave with you are just some things I've been actually thinking about a lot over the past month. Like, so this is kind of where I've been just in my own leadership journey. So, how are we going to lead? Well, I think you all probably, with all the things, Brian, that you've had all the graduates say, like, go through, would you agree that the hardest person to lead is yourself? I mean, really, you're going to get that instant criticism, that instant feedback in your mind, and so you're going to be the hardest person you ever lead. And so I encourage you guys, as you lead yourselves, just to give yourself a little grace, because we tend to be hard on ourselves than anybody else, and then keep pushing, keep striving for that excellence that you like, and become the leader that you would want to follow, right? Like, if I were, the president of the United States, what would I do? What would I be? And again, I'll go back to John Maxwell. So a good question would be, well, how do I do that, Asa? Like, if I were to, how could I be that leader that other people would want to follow? I thought he said it really well. He said, just add value to people every day. And Brian, like you said, that changes with per person. Whether, it's a word of encouragement, or it's just spending some time with them, listening, or they've got a project and they're just sinking in it, and you say, you know what, can I help you with this? Just add value to people every day. And it's funny, because, it's so easy to be discouraged just with the news, and, like yesterday, like in D.C. with what happened to Congressman Scalise and stuff. But the thing is, the way I really believe that we push back at that kind of darkness is just one by one, we decide that we're going to whatever sphere of influence we're in. Michelle, it's like your shirt said, we're going to bloom where we're planted, right? And for this season of my life, this is where I am. I don't know what the next season will be, but I'm going to do my best in this season right here to shine and to try to add value to people and just make a difference. All right, so with that, the last thought is, you guys have probably talked about this a lot, but one of the things that it takes in our increasingly busy world, which technology was supposed to help us with, by the way, right? We were supposed to have all this free time. Because last night my wife and I were on our Amazon app on my phone, and we were like, remember when shopping on the internet was cool? And now, it was a big thing, and now we're just like, button, hit your tab, and we're supposed to have all this free time and we don't. It takes intentionality to do these things. And so I'll tell you what, I actually have started scheduling hanging out with people. I'm at that point to make sure that I can add value and find ways. I schedule it and I'm intentional, because otherwise I come in through the door and, Secretary or Colonel Parker or Patty, we come in and the whirlwind of work just begins to swirl and take us up. And the 5 things I was going to do today, I end up doing one of them and then spend the rest of my time reacting, right? And so that intentionality is the only way that I think any of us know to really manage the whirlwind. And you can't really make it go away, but you can decrease it to like a fourth of your day. And then that the couple big things that are legacy defining or long term, you can work on. So anyway, you all, good job. 2 years, you've done it. And we're just celebrating with you today. Thank you for what you're going to do now as you leave, like graduating today and go into these new roles, or the same role but maybe with a different perspective. And just appreciate all you all are doing here at KYTC. Thank you.
I know people talk about not reading from a script when you're giving speeches, but I've been told that if I ad-lib and veer off is where I get myself in trouble. So bear with me here. Good morning, everybody. Thank you, Patty. Good morning, everybody, and congratulations to the 2017 ALA class. And I also want to congratulate you on behalf of the 47 people that Brian asked to speak before he settled. It wasn't 47? 74. I got it backwards, 74. So congratulations on behalf of all those. But seriously, it is an honor to be here talking to you today. And when I started thinking about what I wanted to say, I got to thinking back to when I was in ALA and some of the things that I've learned in kind of my 2 years there. And, you know, I'm a goal-oriented, task-oriented kind of guy. So when I was in ALA, I wanted to learn all those leadership principles that everybody goes into ALA wanting to learn. But my focus was on getting the work done, completing the tasks, and then graduating from the program. It really wasn't until after I graduated that I really realized how much I'd learned and started to see all those opportunities that we all have every day to apply all those leadership principles. So today you're graduating from ALA, and I thought it'd be a good idea to look back to where your journey began. So I went back through some of your applications and looked at some of your reasons why you wanted to apply to ALA. So I'm not going to call anybody out, I'm not going to throw anybody under the bus, but here's what one of you wrote. He says, I'm applying for the Advanced Leadership Academy program because recently I found myself to be in a rut. It's time to challenge myself to do a better job, and I think this program will do just that. I want to engage in activities that will increase my motivation and cultivate the character it takes to lead my employees with integrity and enthusiasm that will bring out the best in them. I think it's a great start. That's a great start. And you know, everybody comes into ALA wanting to learn more about leadership. They want to sharpen their skills, they want to become better employees, better supervisors, better people, and overall better leaders. And I know you all thought going into ALA, it's going to provide you with a lot more leadership tools and teach you how to use those tools. So at the beginning of your leadership journey, your tools are somewhat limited. And I brought some props. So when you started out, everybody was a hammer. And everybody knows when you're a hammer, everything's a nail. But you know, we all know in our life and at work, sometimes it's not a nail. Sometimes it's a screw. Sometimes you need a screwdriver. So when you're dealing with people, that they might be a loose screw, or a screwball, or a screw up. So you want to be able to use the right tool in dealing with the personalities and dealing with the people. And you know, as you grow through the principles you've learned in ALA, some of those tools may become power tools. And you talk about making the job easy. Power tools will really make the job easy. But you know, the thing I hate worst, when I go to build something and I go to grab my power tools and that battery's dead. That is so frustrating because then you got to go back to the old ways and do them by hand. Even though ALA gives us the tools that we need, sometimes we get stuck in a rut. Sometimes we need to recharge those batteries. So I encourage the graduates and all of you, stay involved with ALA. You know, share what you learned, encourage other people to get involved, and take part in the one-day leadership conference that ALA puts on. There's my plug. So don't let graduation be the end of your journey. Let it be the beginning of something greater than you've ever imagined. And you know, when you apply for ALA, several of you mentioned gaining the knowledge, learning the tools, but some of you came in looking for something a little more. And here's what another one of you wrote. Simply stated, my purpose in applying for the Advanced Leadership Academy is I'd like to be part of the solution. I could make the choice to either sit back and watch or jump in and lead. I would like to be one of the leaders leading the cabinet to continued growth. I have a strong interest in building others' ability levels through methods that are directly linked to an individual's motivational drivers. As a leader, I am able to lead in the development of an environment that leads not only to the successful delivery of projects, but also the positive individual growth of those that I'm able to influence. Since leadership is something that is constantly evolving, it becomes a lifelong learning opportunity rather than finite. I'm always looking for opportunities to continue my growth as a leader and feel as though the Advanced Leadership Academy would be a wonderful opportunity to further my growth. That's deep. You know, the first two words, simply stated, there's nothing simple about that. That is deep. It's a lot of big words, and I had to have somebody explain them to me. But that's some good stuff there. You know, looking for opportunities to continue your growth. You know, don't sit back and watch. Jump in and lead. Be part of the solution. No matter where we're all at in our careers or our life, we can lead from where we are. Leadership's not about your position. It's not about your title. You don't have to be a supervisor to be a leader. Leadership is about attitude, it's about desire, it's about determination, and it's about people. So I encourage everybody here, not just the graduates, but everybody, take advantage of those opportunities in front of you. Don't sit back and watch. Be part of the solution and jump in with both feet to lead. So after going through ALA, you're all ready for this challenge, and I'm eager to see the great things you're all poised to accomplish. So I'm not sure which one of you all it was that paid Brian off to get me up here to speak, but I hope you got your money's worth. And I know maybe Brian needed that money to get Colonel Parker in here, because he's much better at this than I am. And I talked to him a little bit before. He's not going to have time to go through his 8 rules, but I hope, how many of you have heard about Colonel Parker's 8 rules? Good, most of you. If you haven't, get a hold of him. That's some very useful knowledge. But for a simple-minded guy like me, I can't remember 8 of anything. So what I've come up with is one leadership rule that I'm going to share with everybody today. That's my gift to you. And I hope it will help you the way it helps me. That one rule for everybody. That's to write down his 8 rules and remember them. So thank you all for letting me be here today. Good luck on your journey. I know you're all destined and determined to do great things. Thank you all.
I have your money for the plug later, but I wonder if you take credit. Is that okay? Give you credit card. Thank you, TJ. Our next speaker is the class representative. He's been asked by the class to share from his perspective and his journey over the last 2 years with ALA. So, ALA 2017, Daddy ALA.
I appreciate it. One thing I didn't practice, though, is holding this microphone in my hand, so please bear with me. And I also thought I had to follow Colonel Parker. And this is a good thing. So I got up this morning, I was getting ready, and my wife is in there humming Pomp and Circumstance. And that's kind of interesting. She said, who would have thought at 50 plus years old that you'd be graduating for something? I'm getting old, right? Just a little plug of my own. She hasn't reached 40 yet. But I would like to say thank you to the class and my classmates for giving me this opportunity. It's an honor to be able to speak on your behalf. And I guess as Daddy ALA, this task would have been befall me. And that's okay. It's been a great 2 years working with you all and getting to know each of you. But why did we apply and what motivated us to apply? In a rut. However, the consensus was, and I'm sorry about this, but the consensus agreed with Carl actually in that I thought it would be a good way to goof off. Or they hook you with those posters. Have you all seen the posters that they usually put around the building? And the posters are usually there around in the springtime, the plug to get you to sign up. The pictures with the people canoeing and having a good time on steak time. Those are good motivating factors too, obviously, to get somebody to join and to apply for ALA. But some of us may have been encouraged by others to apply. Some of us knew some that have graduated. I know 2 Ricks that have graduated from ALA, actually. Some may have just simply wanted to learn more about leadership, as has been pointed out. Some of us were in a rut. And I got an email the other day, and I know who that person was. And it actually has rejuvenated them and helped them along in their career path as being a leader here in the cabinet. But whatever our ideas or reasons why of applying, all of our expectations were shattered. This was a hard work. This was a hard 2 years. There's a lot to go into this. As mentioned, not only doing the class work, but being a manager and a supervisor at the same time. However, when I was in the Navy back in 2005, I was a chief, and a master chief at the time said, those who are here today want to be where they're at. And I believe this about my classmates. All of us are in some type of manager or supervisor role. And so all of them are where they're at today because sometime in their past, they strived and put forth the effort to be a manager or a supervisor. Some even drove as far as District 2 and District 6 to be a part of this commitment. One even got a job and was promoted to a position in Fish and Wildlife, and she asked and requested to be a part of this and continue her commitment for the 2 years, and she got that, and she's with us today. In the end, Abraham Lincoln says a leader never stops learning. And here we are, getting ready to graduate after 2 years. For those of you who have never been to ALA or have never participated in ALA, what did we do the last 2 years? Well, we did have fun. I think Brian got the fun part out of the way first with the Life Adventure Center, where we first got together and met and got to learn each other's names, tried to work together to solve problems for the first time. Even that, though, even with the canoeing and having fun on state time, was hard work. It was hot, the humidity was high, the drizzle. However, someone found a way to cool off, didn't they? We had to do book reports on Abraham Lincoln, Sir Ernest Shackleton, and on leadership by John Maxwell. Thanks for reminding me, Asa, I appreciate that. I had Dave Ramsey down here, but it was John Maxwell's 21 irrefutable laws of leadership. We learned to work together using our strengths that we've learned with the personality tests that we took and the leadership assessment surveys that we took to work together to promote and to present those book reports. We also took tours of Department of Aviation, R.J. Corman. We took a tour and met the leadership of Georgetown and Scott County, Mayor Tom Prather and County Judge Executive George Lusty. All three of those have great things going on. Through those tours, we met with their leadership and we learned their aspects on goals, missions, aspirations, and things that were important to them and their area of expertise to help us grow as leaders. It was a time to learn other aspects of being a leader too, outside the normal disciplines of dealing with your employees and all. We learned how to deal with the media, how to give interviews to the media, how to use media like PowerPoint to make a good presentation and to give a good impression of who you are as a leader. ALA also gave us the opportunity to do the one thing that many people, managers, leaders, and supervisors fear the most, and that's speak in front of a group. We didn't sing, I'm a little teapot, short and stout. We didn't sing the theme from Gilligan's Island nor Anchors Away in front of a group of complete strangers. However, through our presentations and our book reports, we were able to speak in front of a group and build our self-confidence to be able to do that. Even though I'm a little nervous myself right now. It helped us to gain confidence to be able to speak in front of our church now for the first time. A couple have even went on to be a part of Toastmasters on Friday afternoons to further hone their public speaking skills, and that's great. As servant leaders, we helped the Salvation Army to put together their angel tree gifts at the end of the year at Christmas time. We saved them a lot of man hours, helping them put them together and helping them to get those out on time. We also were able to pick mentors and be with mentors this last year to listen to the many years of experience that those mentors have in various levels of leadership, not just here in the cabinet, but other areas that they chose individually to work with. Those leaders gave us their ideas on how they dealt with things on a day-to-day basis. And it also helps quite a bit to have a mentor that looks pretty... You're going to make me do that. That looks pretty similar to your dad. And that helps a lot. In the end, it was worth it though, wasn't it? We accomplished something after 2 years, and it was great. What did it mean? Hopefully it meant that to see that leadership covers all aspects of not just dealing with that problem person or trying to motivate those who work for you, although those are part of the things that we do as leaders and as managers, right? But I think you mentioned this earlier about communication. So relationship is about communication. And communication is important to be able to tell people what you do, how you do it, and using the technologies and ideas that you learn through ALA to present those ideas. We all have memories, and you've seen a lot of the memories here in the pictures with the PowerPoint that we had. One of the early memories was the Life Adventure Center with the canoeing and having fun on state time and working together. Does anybody remember the verb that went with their name? Mine was Talking Tony. Brian, as you seen in the picture, was wearing a Kansas City Royals shirt. I think yours was Batting Brian, Clapping Christy, I think Kicking Katie, maybe? Yeah. It's all part of a good memory of learning. That was the last big time that we had like that outside, but it was fun. Meeting with our mentors outside at Jupiter Hill Park, that was a good time too. As I mentioned earlier, the R.J. Corman tour, that was a great tour. I think everybody on all levels of leadership in the cabinet should go see R.J. Corman. That's a great American success story of a young man leaving high school, starting his own business that now covers several states, 24 divisions, and 1,600 people. Excellent on safety, their mission statement, and all the things that they do. They even break down their equipment every 5 years, tear it down and completely rebuild it so they don't have to buy new all the time. It's an excellent tour. One of the things I mentioned that I didn't mention that we had to do this last year was our continuous improvement program. Each group had to come up with an idea that would further advance the cabinet into the future. There was how to recognize the people that work for you, autonomous vehicles and how that will affect the transportation cabinet into the future. One of them even had the strength, I guess, or the fortitude to take on fleet management and how we pay the leases on our vehicles, right? That's a big task. Ours, however, was part of helping the Office of Highway Safety put together and take their survey, put it in a media format that they could send out to that survey to people that take their programs and bring the data back into their system to help better evaluate the programs that the Office of Highway Safety gives. And I used that to lead into one memory that I had. Part of our group with that was to go to Central High School in Louisville and meet with the teenagers there in what is called the Ghost Out program. The Ghost Out program is where they take kids out of the classroom and supposedly they were affected, no longer part of the class, due to distracted or impaired driving. And what a wonderful time that was to see our teenage kids today and how distracted and impaired driving affects them. That's an excellent memory that I'll carry. And I'm probably going to do this again, but choked up a little bit, but the 3 girls that carried the load for our continuous improvement program was a great time sharing stories and listening to them, and I appreciate it. That was Michelle, Charlotte, and Zuri. This is an excellent opportunity at the end of this 2 years to have an open door to work with you all in the future. And I wish that all of you continue to grow, improve, and follow your passions as leaders. I appreciate it that you gave me this opportunity to be the one to speak for you. One last thing about being in the Navy. I thought I worked with a lot of professional people in the Navy, but I continue to work with a lot of professional people. Good luck.
My goodness. Be quiet, Tony, it's my turn now. I am so impressed with the job you did. Asa's always eloquent, and Tony, that was absolutely wonderful. So emotion, I could feel the love that you have for your teammates. I was looking at all the pictures out front of past classes, and I don't know, but I think this is probably the best looking class that's ever graduated. Don't you think? Oh my goodness. Congratulations to all of you. Was I the only one that noticed, but when, TJ, who did a fabulous job with the tool box and the bag and all the visual aids, when he mentioned loose screw, he looked right at Brian. I don't know, maybe it was just me. I'm so proud of our cabinet for hosting, encouraging, supporting, continuing the Advanced Leadership Academy. I don't know if any other cabinet has a similar program. If they do, I'm not aware of it. And I don't know exactly, when I got here the first time in 2004 and was here to 2010, then I came back a year and a half ago, it was here, but I think it was fairly new, maybe early 2000s. I'm not quite sure what the roots are. But how awesome it is that we have taken the time and energy to continue this program. I'm very proud to be a member of the Transportation Cabinet, and I talk to other cabinet people about the ALA, about how wonderful it is, and I hope others will begin to do such a thing. But it's awesome. This is my 4th public speaking opportunity this week, and I was highly prepared, as I always try to be, for the first 3. I did 2 yesterday in Louisville, but I didn't. But this is the one that was most special to me, and I waited until this morning. I always get to my desk early, and I jotted down a couple of things because I wanted to make sure that I said to you what was really in my heart. And I didn't know what that would be last week or earlier this week. So I sat down this morning at my desk, and I did a public speaking seminar to a group in Louisville yesterday, and one of the rules that I always talk about is when you're presenting, you never have a piece of paper. You have 3x5 or 5x8 cards or something like that. So here's a piece of paper that I jotted down a couple things. I'll get it. Because this is very emotional to me, because I'm so proud of all of you. As my aviation team and I try to move aviation forward in the state of Kentucky, we daily, hourly need help from professionals in the other 3 major parts of the Transportation Cabinet. Because we're really good at aviation. We know aviation is rocking, we know how to do it, but we don't know how to do things that you guys do for us. And I'm not going to mention names because there are many of you here who have personally reached out and helped my team, and we are so grateful for that help. One of the advantages, it's not on my note card, my paper, but I was thinking as these wonderful previous speakers were doing such a great job, one of the advantages to this program is you guys have now learned things about what other people do in our cabinet that you did not know about before. And I don't know about you, but when I go out into the communities to talk to city councils and mayors and judges and just Rotary and Kiwanis and whoever will have standards so low that they would invite me to speak, they often ask me questions about what's going on in the Transportation Cabinet. I may be the only Transportation Cabinet person they see for 6 months. So I'm there to talk about aviation, and they'll start saying, what's this Paul's 50 thing? What's going on with the bridges? What's going on? And because I have so many friends in this main building who teach me things, I can at least say, well, here's what I know, but here's who you should contact if you really have more questions. And now you can do a better job of that. And I think it makes us look better as a Transportation Cabinet team if we all know a little bit about what's going on around us. Don't you think? You guys learned so much. I know you came out, and we love the time that you came out to see us in aviation. I'm going to say a word about Tony. Thank you for choosing him. You did a good job picking Tony as the father figure, right? Tony and I did not, this is a real advantage of this program. Tony and I did not know each other before this program. He asked me to be his partner and to work with him, and that we could mentor each other. And I think now, I know now, I have a lifelong friend. And I hope you feel the same way. I know a guy that's a radio expert, right? I got any radio issues? I got a guy, right? And the fact that he was a retired Navy professional, and I was in the Air Force. We had that veteran bond, but when we would meet, it wasn't like I was mentoring him. It's like we were sharing and mentoring each other. I would discuss issues with my team. He would discuss issues with his team. We'd mentor each other, and it became a great friendship and partnership. Because we're busy guys, we didn't get to do it as much as we'd like, but we're lifelong friends. And I'm sure you all have that same relationship with whomever you partner. I guess part of my role is just as the oldest guy in the cabinet, I think. Old enough to make Tony think of his father. Yes, and I am 68. Quit doing the math, right? I guess I give advice as just an old guy. Man, I commanded 4 Air Force organizations, one of almost 10,000 people, one of 5,000, and then smaller. But I learned every leadership lesson, many of them the hard way. Every rule that you can break, every mistake you can make, I've made, right? But I've learned from those things, and I've learned from some incredible leaders. I used to work with General Colin Powell. He taught me a lot of things. So Powell said to me one time, "Parker," that's what he liked to call me, "do we pay you by the word?" And then he followed up and said, "Parker, use smaller words and fewer of them." Right? So you see the amazing mentoring that was going on there. Right? I've gotten so old, though, that my wife and I used to go to Wilmore. Everybody know the little town Wilmore? And there was a couple little places cute little places we'd like to have lunch. You know, but I don't go with her to Wilmore anymore because there's a veterans home in Wilmore. And I'm afraid she'll speed by, stop, kick me out, and move on. Right? So we no longer go to Wilmore. It's just, you've all heard, most of you heard me talk about Parker's 8 rules and comm skills. You know what I'm all about. Just a couple quick things that I thought of this morning that I wanted to say to you. Passion. I've gotten to the point where I don't have time for people anymore that don't have passion about what they do and who they are, and just passionate about something. Some people just flatline through life. I can't live with that. Whatever you do, whoever you are, be passionate about it. And that's part of leadership. Who wants to follow someone that doesn't have passion about what they do? If you don't have passion about what you do, why should I care? Right? If you're talking to our customers and clients, if you don't have passion about what we do, why should they have passion about what we do? And I'm so happy it's the ALA and not the AMA, because there's a huge difference between leadership and management. I know a lot of our job titles have management in it, got it. And I hear a lot of my lifelong civilian friends that are doing things, they talk about being managers. I understand that, but here's my point. You may have heard it before, and you may hear it again. You manage things and you lead people. You manage Post-it notes and vehicles and important things, but I never had a job in my life where I wanted to be managed. I want people to lead me, lead the way. Advanced Leadership Academy, that's what it's all about. Manage stuff, lead people, right? I think the qualities that I admire most in life, and having been alive since just after the end of the First World War, is, that was a joke, do you believe that? She's sitting there going, yep. Right? Yep. I think the qualities I most admire in people, that I most try to emulate, often failing, are humility and selflessness. If I may use it to say it in this way, it ain't always about you, right? In fact, it's never about you, it's always about us and the team. It's like, pronouns are important. And I get really frustrated when I hear people misuse them. If something goes bad, what's the pronoun you use? I. Boss says, we screwed this up. I'll fix it. Right? If the boss says, man, what a great job. What's the proper pronoun? We, right? Not, oh, you guys did a great job. Well, yeah, pretty much I rock, No. If there's a problem, it's I, and fix it. If it's a success story, then it's we, right? And people notice that stuff, right? You guys want to come in? Are you waiting till I'm finished? I don't blame you. That's a good idea. Get to know your people. If you have people who work for you now, get to know them. If you don't, you will eventually. Who knows who's in former, future chief district engineers, former leaders in the cabinet? Who knows who's here as you guys grow up and achieve additional roles and responsibilities? My goodness, the opportunities are awesome. But get to know your people. If you have them working for you, or even if you work with them. I don't know, I haven't told this story for a few years. Some of you may have heard it when I was here, 04 to 2010. But getting to know your people is critical. And I've got two very quick examples. One time I did it poorly, and one time I did it well. I learned. When I was in college, right after the Wright brothers' first flight, right? Just a year or so after, my senior year, I was a resident advisor, an RA in a dorm. I think you guys may have heard, some of you may have heard this story. There's a man that lives in my heart every single day. I think of him every day of my life. His name is Jerome Kennebrew. When I was a senior RA at the University of New Mexico, I was getting ready to go in the Air Force. I was a commander of the Air Force ROTC unit. I was on the baseball team, and boy, pretty much I thought I really rocked, right? Hung around with cool people, and I had it going on. And I didn't have time to hang around with people that I thought were nerds. Jerome Kennebrew was a nerd. He was probably going to be a civil engineer. I don't know, but he was very, very bright. This is in 1971. He had the pocket protector with pins, and his pants were always a little short, and he wore white socks with his dress shoes. Jerome Kennebrew was extremely bright, but he had no friends. And I didn't want to hang around with him. He was one of my residents. It was my responsibility to get to know him and protect him, and I didn't do it because I was too cool to hang with Jerome Kennebrew. Jerome Kennebrew would come to my room in the dorm. I'd always have my door open so I could, hear the loud music and smell the pot, that kind of thing. I did say it was 1971, right? And Jerome would come to my room, and he came to me one night, and he said, Steve, would you want to go have a hamburger or something like that? And I said, Jerome, I'm busy. I wasn't. Dude, I'd love to, but I just can't. And that happened time after time. And one night I'm in my room, it's 12:30 at night in March of 1971. I got my door open, and I'm 3 months from graduation and going to Air Force pilot training, and all of a sudden I heard a very loud boom. I went 6 doors down, and I noticed Jerome's room, there was blood coming from under the door. Jerome Kennebrew had shot himself. He needed somebody to reach out and be his friend. He needed somebody to talk to and to love him a little bit. He didn't have anybody. And he came to me, and I rejected him more than once. And I've never forgotten Jerome Kennebrew, and I swore to myself, and I prayed, Lord, give me opportunities, and I will never do that again. And I've tried hard not to. Fast forward 1989, February 20th, one of my C1, I was just a lieutenant colonel, squadron commander, small squadron, just 300 people, 16 airplanes. One of my airplanes crashed. 7 of my teammates were killed. 6 of them were married. That very night, my squadron chaplain and my squadron flight surgeon and I went to 6 homes and told 6 wives that their husbands weren't coming home. But because I remembered Jerome Kennebrew, and I knew every wife, I knew every child, it didn't make it easier for them, but at least when I knocked on the door at 1:30 in the morning in my dress blue uniform, there was a friend at the door and not a strange face. And I'm still in contact with some of those families, and the wives, some of them have still told me that because they knew me and we were friends, it made it easier to accept the bad news. So I failed once, and I tried to do better the second time. Get to know your people. You don't know what's going to happen, right? and get to know who they are. How many of you seen the movie Pay It Forward? I have a speech I give of 10 movies that changed my life. Not that I like, but that changed my life. And one of them is Pay It Forward. Random acts of kindness. I won't go over the scenario. The assignment was find something, think of something that will change the world and begin to implement it. This young man in middle school, early high school said random acts of kindness. So he started implementing those. That's what we need to do, random acts of kindness for your teammates, for your superiors, for your subordinates, for everybody you know, random acts of kindness. It's very important. Things like picking up trash, right? I can't stand people that litter. And if I'm walking downtown Louisville yesterday after I finally found the hotel where I was going to, and finally found the parking garage, and I'm walking out in front of the Marriott Hotel in downtown, and there's a Reese's peanut butter wrapper laying right there in the sidewalk in the front of the hotel. There was an employee standing about 20 feet away. I knew he saw it. People walking by, I knew they saw it. Nobody bent over to pick up the darn thing. So I picked it up, and I'm hoping that somebody saw me pick it up, and maybe when they see a piece of trash, they'll pick it up. Random acts of kindness. People are watching you. And as you rise in responsibility, you're very visible. So set the right example for other people. It's very rude to sneeze while I'm trying to talk, but especially from a graduate. But I think I'm going to leave you because they gave me 15 minutes and they laughed when they said, Parker, do 15 minutes because that could never happen. But I'm going to actually stop talking. Brian's not standing up yet, but still I'm going to stop. I'm going to leave you. I found this quote. I have this folder whenever I go out and talk to groups. It's about that thick of things that I printed off and that I think are, and I went through it this morning and I found, I don't know who said this, and neither do you, so I guess it will be me. But I think this applies. This means a lot to me. Tell me, and I'll forget. Show me, and I may not remember. But involve me, and I'll totally understand. Involve me, and I'll understand. I think that's important. We're so proud of you guys. Thanks for taking 2 years out of your life to do this. It's hard. You're awesome. And you're a great looking class. And Tony. All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Colonel Parker. Thank you, TJ. Thank you, Tony. Well said. Well, here we go. Y'all ready for this? I need some music right here, right now. I'm going to ask Sherry and Asa to join us on stage, and Sherry's going to read the names. And as we read your name, just come forward. We'll hand you your certificate. Pause for just a second, and Charles is going to get your picture. He'll be standing in the middle of the aisle. And so after everyone has had received their certificate and their picture, we've got a few final thoughts, and we want to make sure that we also note and present the Talent Smither Award. So hang on. This won't take too long.
All right, to get us started, we have Charlotte Aaron. Next, we have Michelle Barnes. Paige Byron. Tony Downs. Krista Goins. Zuri Johnson. Travis Jones. Amy McCray. Shane McKenzie. Laura Mitchell. Brian Schroeder. Katie Stewart. Lisa Tolliver. Carl Van Zee. Eileen Vaughn.
Good morning and congratulations, graduates. It certainly is a well-earned accomplishment. My name is Stacy Hands, and it is my privilege to present the 2017 Tylen Smither Leadership Award. I myself am a graduate of the 2012 class, and it was our class that established the Tylen Smither Leadership Award to honor the life and leadership of Tylen Smither, not only for his commitment to the cabinet, but to also recognize the professional leadership that he embodied. He had dedication to his church and to many community projects that he participated in. Tylen was also a 2008 graduate of the ALA program. He regularly attended Shelbyville First Baptist Church, where he volunteered for the local backpack program and was active in the Sunday school program. He loved to work outside, including landscaping. He also loved music. Probably the phrase that described him best was servant leader. In the words of Alan Arnold, who was one of my classmates in the 2012 class, he stated, "One of the things that initially drew me to Tylen was no matter what was going wrong or who was at fault, he would very quickly help you find a solution and determine the best route to get there. This was true in both his professional and his personal life. Tylen somehow managed to stay out of the drama and be friends with everyone on both sides and simply continue to work towards a peaceful solution with everyone. Tylen's generosity to everyone around him is exemplified in the fact that even after his passing, he continues to give as an organ donor. His selfless decision has been able to help many people so far, and with all recipients doing well. It is estimated that his kindness will ultimately be able to help over 100 people. At this time, to help present the award, please join me in honoring Tylen's wife, Jessica, his son, Cooper, and his wife, Carolyn, on stage. So those of you that don't know, we solicit nominations for this award. And in the nomination process, this year's honoree it was stated about him that they are enthusiastic about helping others and is always willing to listen to what others have to say and to try to help them, both personally and professionally. He cares about the person first and then about the job. This year's recipient has been actively involved and continues to lead efforts to increase the salaries of HEOs, engineers, and others, to help fund the pension liability, institute shift premiums, and generally improve working conditions for KYTC employees. They have also been a strong leader for the employees of KYTC through their role in Kentucky Transportation Employees Association. Finally, as a member of the 2011 ALA graduating class, their commitment to the ALA program did not stop there. They continued by serving on the advisory committee and as a mentor for other ALA participants during their time in the program. This year's recipient is a true advocate for the Transportation Cabinet and for its employees. For the first time since this award has been given, this award comes as a surprise to the recipient. So please join me as we welcome TJ Gilpin on stage.
I've been coming to these graduations since I graduated in 2011. And since they've given this award with Stacy's class, and I don't know how she does this every year without breaking down, but I want to thank you all for continuing to come back and showing your strength in having to live with this, and the man that he was and what this award represents. It is truly an honor, and I'm really humbled right now, so thank you all.
And on one final note, we want to make you aware that at the ALA Oversight Committee is made up of graduates of the program that continue to stay on to give guidance and oversight to the program moving forward, improving the curriculum and encouraging the ideas and all together helping me out significantly. And so for the representative of this class, they're voted on by their classmates. And the one that they would like to represent them on the Oversight Committee is Amy McCrae. Well, that concludes our graduation ceremony. I didn't have to tell y'all no beach balls or anything, so good job. You kind of kept those under control, but now it's time to bust them out. Time to celebrate your graduation and all that that you put into it, and so we honor you for that. So one final congratulatory applause for our graduating class. There you go. And a collective sigh of relief.